Well, the Wallabies continue to put good performances together. They round out their Rugby Championship campaign with their fourth win on the bounce. It's a 32 points to 17 win over the Pumas. We've just finished watching that game here in the Rugby Championship. So the Pumas finished the competition without a win, without a point, but they did manage to score a couple of tries to at least make the scoreboard look a wee bit more respectable come the end of the game. But anyway, we'll go through some of the key events, some of the stats, and you guys can let me know your thoughts on how this game went. It was a bit of a tentative start. The crowd, you'll notice some empty seats, but in the Gold Coast, they did have kind of limited capacity with some COVID restrictions, so that was kind of the reason there. I believe it was sold out prior, but they had to kind of cancel the last 25% of the tickets. The last people to buy the tickets had them refunded, I believe, because, restrictions meant they couldn't quite go at full capacity. But, like I said, tentative start. A bit of force back, we would call it here in New Zealand. Kick tennis. At times, tactical kicking. Some of it better than the others. But neither side really able to kind of get the upper hand of that department. It was interesting to see Pitaya try to have his... try to add a bit of a kicking game to his skill set. I don't think he's quite there yet either. Likewise, the guys from the T were not quite there. Boffelli missed an early penalty on 2 minutes, so a bit of a let-off. And in terms of Argentina's campaign, man, they needed to be getting points every chance they could get because they've not been scoring a lot of tries, and they missed that one, which is unfortunate. But then Cooper missed one a few minutes later as well. He didn't make this the mistake on 9 minutes when the Wallabies scrum got on top. So the Wallabies did go up 3-0. And it was that way for a long time. Like I mentioned, the kicking game was back and forth. Carreras had a shot at a drop goal from I think it was from a goal line dropout. He decided to try and, with that bit of free space, line up a droppy, but it was a bit of a shocking strike, really. He didn't get anywhere near it and needs to follow in the footsteps of the American halfback, Ruben De Haas, who's the guy, I think he did it first from a goal line dropout against Canada. Struck it a lot more nicely anyway, but the right idea, just the execution was wrong. 24 minutes, the Aussies had a good chance attacking line-out in Pumas territory, but stolen, and their line-out still continues to be solid without being spectacular. I think it's an area with the Wallabies have come a long way in the last few weeks, that's for sure. Some areas of their game, especially their attacking game, have looked really good. And I should say, actually, the defensive game is maybe even the more impressive of the two, even if they did concede a couple of tries here. But, their line-out continues to be 80%, 82, 84, you know what I mean? One's going to go astray every now and again. And for the Wallabies, unfortunately, sometimes it's the ones right down at the attacking end. But anyway, Lavanini gets yellow carded on 26 minutes. I felt for him. He seemed pretty gutted. It was kind of a team penalty where they've been warned. They've been down their own end for a long time under a bit of pressure. And he drove in way too early when the Wallabies jumper was up. They did win. Again, it was Wallabies line-out ball in Argentinian territory. Lavanini drove in way too early. So, They yellow carded him for that one, and boy did the Wallabies take advantage. And this is the kind of thing that you need to see from really top teams, right? When you get that man advantage, you don't let the pressure off. You really kind of go for the jugular, and that's what we saw from the Wallabies during this yellow card period. They converted immediately with Fainga, a maul try. That guy has done it so many times for the Brumbies. He's been their top try scorer in some years. Peels off the back of a maul. Montoya's waiting for him. He knows it's coming, but he manages to kind of slip inside Montoya. So, they missed the conversion, but it's 8-0, 5 points during the yellow card. And then they get another one through Callaway before the end of the yellow card on 34 minutes. Callaway's try-scoring record is just bonkers how many he's getting. And he gets 3 in this game. So, if it was crazy before this game started, it just got even crazier. That one was Fainga with a nice little inside ball to Valtini. He has a nice line break, and he gets the ball to Callaway, who goes over for the try. So it's 15 points to 0. It's 12 points during the yellow card. The pressure's paying off for the Wallabies. The Pumas, it's looking like it's going to be another long day at the office, man. They're not really looking like scoring any points. They do manage to get a penalty in front. They did have a decent period of pressure after the yellow card before half time. They won a penalty and decided to slot it. So at least they kind of got off the mark, right? So 15 points to 3 at halftime. It's far from game over, but the Wallabies are looking pretty comfortably in front. They've got slightly more possession, the Wallabies, but less territory. So it's 52-48 possession, 40-60 in favour of the Pumas, actually, the territory. Clean breaks, though, 3-zip to the Wallabies. Run meters 298 to 85. So most of those kind of key attacking stats are in the Wallabies' favour. And it's been that way for the Pumas this whole Rugby Championship. Just attacking ball in hand numbers have not been good. And we've seen that with the amount of tries they've been able to convert, man. It's been very few. Wallabies picked up where they left off, man, in that second half, though. Karevi got a try on 43 minutes. That one, Cooper made that one, man. His eyes said he was going to pass wide, but his hands passed the inside ball to Karevi, so he went over for a try. He did go off not too long later, Karevi, injured seemingly, so hopefully he's all right, because he's been, I mean, along with Cooper and Callaway, Tupou's been on fire, but I mean, Karevi has been such a linchpin for them. So 20 points to 3. Callaway gets another on 53 minutes. Essentially, they just got the ball from right to left, and he beats Moroney in a one-on-one tackle. And Callaway's just been good for that kind of thing. You can't be missing that kind of tackle. But there you go, 27 points to 3. And Callaway gets his hat-trick about 5 minutes later. That one's a line-up move again. They get the ball wide. Ikitau kind of draws 2 defenders. It's a little chicken wing offload to Callaway. Right place, right time, and it's a try. Like Ikitau is the guy who puts the icing on the cake with a little offload. 32 points to 3. It's looking like a proper hiding. But that's the end of the scoring for the Wallabies. So Dave Rennie will be looking at this and going, well, what happened after this? But yeah, good for the Pumas. They actually managed to get some go for it. I mean, the Wallabies weren't helped by some guys going off injured. I think they had 2 hookers on the field at one point when Pataya had to go off. That guy's injury woes maybe seeming to continue. I don't know if it's serious or not, but he goes off after they've made a lot of substitutions. So I think Hooper's out there, out wide for a wee while. He ends up getting yellow carded right before full time when the Pumas had a big old line break. But interestingly, and a feel-good bit for the Pumas, like for the last 20 minutes, they do put some pressure on. Gallo, the replacement prop, who's on his test debut, gets a try from close range, just bursts over. The he looks really young. He's clearly in his very early 20s. But man, they look pumped to see him burst over the line. So 32 points to 10. And then, they got a second one. They initially had to check it with the TMO because the Pumas had an attacking line out like 5 meters out. You think they're surely going to maul it. Absolutely going to maul it. But they didn't, man. They set the maul, but then spun it wide, which was fantastic to see. And the replacement halfback, Garcia, he went close. He was maybe taken a bit high with a seatbelt tackle, but either way, Gallo, the same dude, on his debut, he's the Johnny on the spot and just drives it over. It looks like maybe he's lost control as he's going over, but the TMO says no clear separation, no clear conclusive evidence. So yeah, take the try. It's one of those ones where it's like I can be happy that it was a try, especially for this guy on his debut. Maybe that's not a good one to. If it had been the deciding try in a match, it would have been controversial. But in this situation, it's not controversial at all. But it's also one of those ones where you look at it and go, well, that's why the referee has their on-field decision, and you stick with it rather than kind of overanalyzing it. So they dealt with it relatively quickly enough. So yeah, he gets the double, and they go 32-17, which, as I said, is a bit more respectable, but still a pretty comfortable win for the Wallabies in the end. It's still a bonus point win. I mentioned Hooper did get a yellow card because that was Montoya got like what seemed like the slowest line break because he's the hooker, he's the captain. Captain fantastic, man. He's been really good, and he gets a line break. He's clearly knackered as well. But yeah, Hooper with a bit of cynical play. But either way, the Pumas can't convert for a third try, but they can certainly end the game. They went for it. They went for a maul, got turned over. So yeah, they end the game with their heads held high, but still none from 6. Final stats: run meters finished 619 to 254. So the Aussies looking really good in that department. Kind of more of the same for the Pumas. Aussies more possession, more territory, but not heaps, like 51-49 kind of numbers. The Aussies tackling percentage is still nigh on 90, like 89%. Defensively, they've been putting in some absolute shifts in the last few weeks, man. So as much as they're scoring some good tries, and Tupou's been doing stupid passes for a prop, stupidly good, and Karevi's been getting huge line breaks, and Callaway's been scoring a bucket load of tries. Defensively, they've looked a proper good outfit. Penalty counts 12-11 with the Wallabies conceding one more, which is not too high in the scheme of things. Clean breaks, though, 7-3. Pleasingly, the Pumas actually got a few this week, none last week. Montoya gets one for a hooker, not a bad effort. Kicks from hand, 24-20. Knock on 6-3. That's with the Pumas having 6, unfortunately for them. Montoya, man, I mentioned Captain Fantastic finishes with 48 run meters, a clean break, 3 defenders beaten, and 13 out of 14 tackles. Like, he's one of their top run meter guys. He's one of the top guys to get clean breaks with 1. He's one of their top tacklers. He just does it all. Gallo, the prop, gets 2 runs, 2 tries. That's about as good a return as any prop can have on their debut ever. But man, Callaway, 3 clean breaks, 7 defenders beaten, 3 tries, 104 run meters. The guy is just looking phenomenal at test level. Fainga finishes with 10 from 11 tackles. Good shift from him as well. Passed the ball really well. So yeah, like I mentioned, man, pleasing effort from the Wallabies. They are looking really good. I look forward to seeing how they go with the end of year games. It's going to be fascinating to see how they compare, because they are on a really hot streak at the moment. But that they need to play some different teams to kind of really get a sense of where they are at, because they lost badly to the All Blacks, and then they've gone 4 on the bounce, so it's kind of a bit of a mystery. The Pumas, like I mentioned, it's a bit of a low point. At least they end with a little kind of good 20-minute period, but it's been poor for them this tournament. I know they've had to blood a lot of young guys. They weren't helped with this game with some of their guys not being eligible due to travelling outside of the state, not being let back in due to COVID restrictions. So they didn't make it easy for themselves, but I'm hoping they're kind of be building, because a lot of guys have got some extra minutes in this competition, some guys we haven't really seen before. So fingers crossed. It is a bit of a building one, but ultimately been pretty disappointing. So anyway, the All Blacks and Springboks are not too far away, so I'm going to sit down and watch that one. I hope you guys enjoyed this game. If you watched it, there were certainly some good tries. I thought it was pretty fun, good watch. But yeah, you guys have any thoughts, and I'll talk to you soon. See you later. Bye.